Hi everyone, good Thursday afternoon and welcome to Go Local Live. I'm Go Local News Editor Kate Nagel. We are coming to you live from the Player Experience Lab at IGT here in downtown Providence. And I have with me here the Chief Technology Officer, Rachel Barber. Rachel, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me and welcome to IGT.
And the Player Experience Lab, if you can see what's taking place behind us, so many screens, so much going on with product development in particular. So even before we go into your position, Rachel, what is taking place here in this lab? What does IGT accomplish here in this room?
This is our Lottery Player Experience Lab, as you mentioned, and we showcase all of our lottery products. Here we have lottery point of sale devices, lottery ticket checkers, instant ticket vending machines, and we even have demonstrations of some of our lottery back office applications available. So when customers come to visit, or even employees that want to come see what we're up to, they can have a look around. In the back room, I'll show you later, we have some innovation demonstrations as well, so we can pick people's brains on kind of what we're thinking about for the future.
And so this is really sort of the testing, the launch pad, if you will, to say, here's a new product that isn't even online yet, sort of what do you think?
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, Rachel, Chief Technology Officer here at IGT. I'm sure it was quite a winding path, and how are you in this seat today?
Well, thanks for asking. I went to the University of Rhode Island and I graduated with a degree in computer science. I applied to lots of jobs and I was fortunate enough to be accepted here at GTech. So it was in 1991 that I joined the company as a software engineer, and I was building applications for our lottery point of sale devices. So I spent about 5 or 6 years doing that, and then I was given the opportunity to relocate to Olympia, Washington, where we were deploying a new lottery system there at that time. I spent several years over there, and it was during that time that I got the opportunity to move away from programming and into management, which is something I thought I would never actually do, but I gave it a try, and then over the years I had increasing levels of responsibility and broader geographic teams, and then I ended up overseeing a global team of lottery software engineers, and 17 years later I was still doing it. I then switched from lottery over into gaming. So at that time, GTech had a very small gaming market presence, but I wanted to try something new. So I moved over into gaming and I began overseeing the technology team for GTech Gaming at that time. So I did that for several years, and then all of a sudden we were in the fortunate position where GTech was prepared to acquire another gaming manufacturer. So in 2015, GTech acquired IGT, and I became the Chief Technology Officer for IGT. Just last year, we've come full circle, and now we've combined the lottery technology team with the gaming technology team, and I'm overseeing both teams at this time.
So, I mean, you've really seen it sounds like, from that ground up level, as you said, having been that software engineer, gone into management. I have to imagine having the technical background, going into management, really, you knew what your colleagues were doing. You knew it from the inside out.
I did, and I have a very keen awareness of just how complicated it is what we do.
So let's talk a little bit about that. You talk about the Experience Lab here, people being able to come in, check out new products. As you said, they're all around us here, kind of testing it to see what their reaction's like. But for that person who's going out, going to the vending machine, getting that scratch ticket, deciding to play, do you think they really, I mean, that's the 1 yard line as we talked about. I mean, what does it really take from concept into implementation?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm glad you asked that question, because I feel like in my position it's really part of my job is to remind people just how complicated it is what we do. We have so many very talented experts here at IGT, particularly I have to say in the technology organization, and sometimes I get worried that we make it look a little too easy. So I try to remind people if anybody could do it, then everyone would be doing it. So we spend well over $250 million in R&D annually, and we have, of course, that translates to thousands of projects that are going on at any time. And one thing people don't realize is just how much work goes into making sure, particularly in the gaming space, the work that's required to really comply with the different regulations within each jurisdiction. So it's a very highly regulated industry, and we spend a lot of time planning and making sure that these products are ready for market. Another thing that we do that it's probably not obvious is we spend a lot of time and energy working with player focus groups. So we want to make sure that our products not only are compliant and reliable and secure for the lottery or gaming operator, but we also want to make sure that we're building products that players for sure are going to enjoy playing and are going to spend their money playing.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because I'm sure there's probably ones that are kind of fan favorites, if you will, that folks like to go back to time and time again. But then I'm sure they sometimes want to see something new and something different, something fun and exciting. How do you balance the two? I mean, obviously getting new stuff to market is probably a big part of your job. But, what do you take into account when you say, well, what could be, what's next?
Well, we want to make sure there's a mix and a product for everybody, because not all players are the same. So we have some players that really want the same old, which is totally fine, and it works. But then we want to make sure that we're also continuing to push the envelope, trying new technologies, trying new game experiences or mechanics to really just expand what we do and try to reach different players.
And you talk about, again, the different jurisdictions that have different regulations, both here in the country and internationally as well. Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, is the person playing different in Rhode Island than across the country and across the world?
Yeah, for sure. Each market brings its own type of player, and in each market we try to, as I said, cater to each of the different player segments. So we have resources, by the way, around the world to try to meet those needs. We have resources here in Rhode Island, the technology organization. We have 200 resources just here in Rhode Island, but we have them also all over the world.
And so you talk about your path coming from URI, again, having that computer engineering background. What about those students who are in school right now, thinking about what their future might be? Is the future bright in the gaming industry for folks who, from that technical side, from the computer, from the programming side? What would you say to that college student who might be watching right now, might be an intern hanging around, to say, maybe this is something I might want to pursue?
Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the company and the opportunities that it offers. And, I'm excited about the future and especially the opportunities for more young women to go into computer science. Here at IGT in my organization, we have skills ranging from mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, software and firmware engineers, project managers, quality assurance experts, architects. So there's really something for everybody. And I'm actually enjoying, as part of IGT, working with local universities, working with the folks at Computer Science for Rhode Island here in the state of Rhode Island, to try to see what IGT can continue to do to bridge that gap and really help groom the computer scientists of the future.
So what is the future? Of course, I mean, there's always, both brick and mortar, online developments in technology. I mean, what have you seen since coming here in the early 90s? Here we are, 2019. Where do you envision this going? As you said, a lot of folks very comfortable with what their player experience is now, but might not even know what's around the corner.
Yeah, I've seen over the last 28 years a lot of changes, some of them slow moving, some of them faster. Some of the age tried and true old products are still doing very well today. So I think that in the future, a lot of people will like to pontificate about exactly what the future of gaming is going to look like. Obviously, none of us really have any idea. But I think personally that we're going to see more and more mobile applications resident in both gaming and lottery player experiences. And I'm hopeful that over time we'll begin to capture some of the technical innovations that we see in social gaming and console gaming, things like virtual reality, augmented reality. These are the things I'm excited about to bring to the gaming industry over time so that we can capture that future player.
Again, you said not quite sure where it's going, but it is happening all here in the Player Experience Lab at IGT. Rachel, anything we didn't hit upon that you want folks to know from your role as Chief Technology Officer? Again, a lot of folks do partake in the gaming and lottery, so what should folks know?
I think all I can say is that the lottery and gaming industry are a very complicated business and a very exciting business, and we're very happy to be here in Rhode Island. And I think I speak for a lot of the Rhode Island employees when I say that we're hopeful that the future of IGT will continue to have a strong presence here in Rhode Island.
Well, Rachel Barber, Chief Technology Officer for IGT, I appreciate you taking the
Thank you so
time.
much.
I might have to go and check out some things
I'll
around
share.
here as well. Might have a little fun this afternoon. But we thank you for watching on Go Local Live. You'll be able to catch us again tomorrow. But in the meantime, find us on GoLocalProb.com. Catch us on Facebook throughout the evening, and have a good one. I'm Go Local News Editor Kate Nagel.